Welcome. Greetings from the desk of Susquehanna Alchemy. Hi, Michael. And the desk of Loved by the Water. And we're sharing a desk today, and we're also sharing this house. We're on a house sit, something we don't get paid for, but we are so grateful for to have housing and to also sometimes have housing with that kind of view. That's the Susquehanna River. And this morning, as I was sitting out there drinking coffee, a deeper appreciation came to me for the land that is shaped by the water. And Michael and I are both recovering from coughs again. We think it might be something in this house because we've been here before. A deeper appreciation for the soil and the energy lines that are underneath the water in the earth that the water is flowing over, and the water is taking on molecular energetic signatures from that energy that is there in the earth, kind of as a portal or a vortex. So I wanted to bring that forward, and just for those of you who are going to be gathering with us in ceremony for the River and Stars projects, for the River and Stars ceremonies, the overall project has had a lot to do with water weaving and weaving the waters of the rivers. And as we're doing this, we're also linking with the stars. And now I'm growing an even greater and deeper appreciation for the land that hold the veins that the water runs in. And all that word implies when I say veins throughout the earth, that the water, the blood, the life of the earth flows through. So we're going to be in Falmouth next Wednesday for Beltane. And as I'm continuing to do research that builds upon the previous ceremony location and the geomancy work with the diamonds and the keystones, I'm creating this short video because Falmouth came up in a pretty significant way that links Falmouth to the cosmos and to this whole overall huge story that I'm not going to be able to put together and tell until after Falmouth. And it's also in preparation for Chesapeake Bay, Occoquan River, and the whole Seven Sisters Pleiadian connection has almost fully come through. And that's a bigger story, but I just want to tell the piece that shows Falmouth and Falmouth's importance and its location in regards to energy and earth lines. And so it's so funny, this Twinkle Twinkle Little Star has had built in my consciousness from the beginning of my childhood the tools and the message of the underpinning of where this story comes from. And it's not just a made-up story, and it's not a conspiracy. It's geomancy, it's divination, it's reading the energy that's being told through the water, through the land, through the tattooing of our civilizations on the maps, and allowing the spirit of it to speak. And part of that is listening to really old nursery rhymes in my head. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. And so when we do these River and Stars ceremonies, we use ground stones that Michael and I and a few other Susquehanna Alchemy Fellowship folks helped us gather. And we link those into the star board, linking the below into the above. And then we had regular stones that we use for the star board. And we use those stones and we link them down onto the felt Susquehanna River map that Michael handmade, linking the above into the below. So that's part of the weaving. It's not the water weaving aspect, but it's part of the weaving of the inner alchemy of the group and of the ceremony. And so, like a diamond in the sky, I have now taken that like a diamond in the sky, the stars, and it didn't occur to me until after it popped through the map to my eyes, this song. It wasn't like I thought of the song and then went looking. I saw it in the research and in the maps, and then it occurred to me, there's something in my mind that's telling me the diamonds are important. They're important like the stars. Where is that coming from? Duh, twinkle, twinkle, little star. So, yeah, so the diamond, the star diamonds in the sky, I've been making lots of maps, kind of drawing out constellations over the state of Pennsylvania and a little bit beyond to see how we've actually tattooed our earth land body with constellations that mean something. And so I'm going to try to turn this camera around. So here are a few maps that I'd like to show you to bring through just how oddly Falmouth lines up with some pretty interesting cosmic story, maybe, or just cosmic activity. So first we need to orient ourselves to something called, so here's Orion. We're looking at actual stars, obviously, right now in the sky. And then here is a star system called, every time I stick my hand in there, it gets blurry, Hyades, okay? So, and it's just this little star system, this like kind of pointy triangle. And then there's the Pleiades. And here is a closer up view of Hyades. So we need to familiarize ourselves with that shape and that formation of stars or diamonds in the sky. So in previous videos, this triangle will look familiar to you. So here we have Cooperstown all the way out here, baseball diamond, Cooperstown Major League Baseball. And Williamsport is minor league. Lock Haven, the university, has baseball. No, not the university. Actually, there probably is, but that point at Lock Haven is a set of two baseball fields in the hills on the bendy curve of the river on the West Branch. So anyways, if you want to see this more in detail, you can go to my the second Sunbury presentation, that Unloved by the Water, and I show more detail about this triangle within a triangle that I drew. And so, you know, kind of like putting this longer star arm on hold, I want to focus on this piece right here, because I started playing around with all the other locations of, like, this would be kind of the center of the starfish, or the center of the star, if you will. And I ended my last video saying I can't find this fifth point. Well, I've now found lots of fifth points. But okay, so State College, that is a baseball diamond point there in State College, at the college's baseball fields. And that point down there is actually not a baseball diamond, but a goddess that we see with diamonds floating around her head very often when we engage in partaking cinema, Hollywood. Michael, what is that one called? Columbia, the goddess Columbia, right? Columbia Pictures, right? So that probably evokes some images. The goddess is actually in the river there. If you're not familiar with Marysville, Pennsylvania, there's actually a mini Statue of Liberty in the river, and that is the goddess Columbia. And so that point down there is her. Northumberland, that's the baseball diamond that we had the River and Stars Ecliptic Part 2 ceremony at. And so look at that shape. As I draw, like as I was drawing these lines to connect these important pieces of this greater story, I got what I'm calling the Hyades constellation. So there it is. And so we've got those like dots that cross there, and we've got that triangle, and then the arms. And there's the triangle, and there's the arms. So, you know, bear with me, this is not exact science. Let me go forward here and see. So I wanted to know, this is the stadium in Williamsport, the Little League one on the West Branch. And I wanted to see if I went from, there you go, there's the Little League baseball diamond you just saw. I wanted to go all the way down and connect it to this baseball diamond, which for now you don't really need to know where it's at, but it's 300 miles southeast. And, well, now you know where it's at. It's on the tip of Norfolk at Virginia Beach at First Landing State Park. And this line happens to run right exactly parallel with the Chesapeake Bay, that vein that is the true completion of the Susquehanna River. Possibly, you know, the Susquehanna River, the alchemy, actually, you know, comes all the way down here. It's one full body. We've just started calling it the bay and the river, but Michael likes to say it's all connected. It's all one living thing, and it ends and it goes out into the great ocean right here. And so Fort Story to Williamsport, diamond to diamond, it is a 300-mile line from Williamsport down to First Landing State Park.
Which is actually where the Susquehanna mystery began, with the John Smith map of Virginia.
Which is actually where the Susquehanna mystery began, with the John Smith map of Virginia.
Because the first landing of John Smith, or where John Smith first landed, was that point, that park.
Okay, I hope you guys can hear that. Okay, so important points here. This line from baseball diamond to baseball diamond, from a key on the West Branch, that's what this is, a key on the West Branch, a diamond on the West Branch, to where John Smith first landed, which is the First Landing State Park, which is where the whole Susquehanna mystery story begins. You can see that this line, this right here, is the West Branch as it comes down to meet the main branch. So there's an energy line here in the earth that the river is kind of magnetizing to, and then it meets here at Sunbury with the West Branch that goes this way. And then it flows down. Oh, sorry, I don't have these quite in order. Yeah, so here, again, the line flows to the Chesapeake Bay. And it also, as it flows down, you know, like the main branch is like coming down here, and then it curves, and there's this hard elbow here at Middletown. And there's this like special part of the river again. So it's like all the way down south is the Chesapeake Bay. All the way up north is the West Branch. Those parts of this long body of water are parallel, and then just this little piece right here, right where this bend is. And there happens to be some interesting things there. What's there? There's Falmouth, which is where we're gathering next Wednesday for Beltane to work with both fire and water out on the mysterious potholes of Conewago Falls. And what else is there? 3 Mile Island, which Michael goes into great detail about how 3 Mile Island is TMI, which sounds like Tiamat, which is an ancient goddess. And there's a whole part of the Susquehanna mystery story that is focused just here at Falmouth and the 3 Mile Island. And you can read that in The Rites of the 40th Parallel, which Michael wrote and would be happy to send you copies of if you go to his Susquehanna Alchemy link tree and order one. So, oh gosh, I jumped forward. So I can't tell you the rest of the story about why I linked Williamsport to first landing, but it relates to the Hyades and the Pleiades. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but there's a cosmic story and Falmouth is in the region of something that is between the Hyades and the Pleiades called the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic, and Falmouth is in the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic. If you put the constellations on the map of Pennsylvania, Falmouth falls in the Golden Gate. All 7 planets pass through the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic. They pass between Hyades and Pleiades. So more on that. But because Hyades and Pleiades, well, first of all, Pleiades is 7 sisters. And then Hyades is the sister to the Pleiades. Hyades, Pleiades, they're sisters. They're sister star clusters. And Pleiades happens to be 7 sisters within. And so we're going to stop there for now. And I was sharing with a sister of mine, of which I've done sister ceremonies with, and we have this very deep connection over the Susquehanna River and the alchemy of it. We hosted a circle, and there happened to be 7 of us sisters around that circle, and you know, we did a crowning for we gave a ring of grasses, like a crown, to the river. Anyways, her and I have been going back and forth, and she gave me this. Well, so actually we were talking about Falmouth, and she found on the map this commonality of a place in Virginia called Falmouth and our Falmouth, and near both of those places are a locust grove. And so then we were like, I was like passing Locust Grove, and everywhere I was driving, it was like Locust Road, Locust. So we were just on this locust kick. And because we were texting about it, I ended up saying, ooh, another locust something. And I just referenced Falmouth, and I said, foul, you know, another reference to foul. And I don't know if that's what instigated it, but she went and maybe knew about the River Fowl, but there is a river called, there it is, River Fowl. And guess where it is? It goes through the Roseland Heritage Coast. And there it is, that's the River Fowl, and it empties out into this body of water. This body of water right here, it empties out at Falmouth. Naturally, the River Fowl would have a mouth called Falmouth. Nope, go back. And this empties into the English Channel. What else empties into the English Channel? Le Havre. Le Havre is the mouth of the Seine, which is the sister river to the Susquehanna River from the Susquehanna Mystery. And here you have across the English Channel the River Fowl, the River Seine, with Le Havre and Falmouth, which are copied and pasted names over from what became this British Empire to the American Empire. Is that fair to say?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Oh, it's okay. Would you say that this energy around the English Channel, like there's like the British Empire, is very
Yes.
close to this, right?
Oh yeah.
Because it is right north.
Yes.
Okay. So there's just more interesting links to Falmouth. Falmouth is an old name. It has copy and paste energy from the British Empire, from the English Channel, from the River Fowl. You know, it's got this connection here in the Roseland Heritage Coast. So yeah, so some rich history with the name Falmouth and the River Fowl, and credits to Emily Scortata with Tea with Source on Instagram if you want to, give her some shout outs and credit. And yeah, and there it is. There's Falmouth. That's where we're going to be next Wednesday, is 3 Mile Island. And we're going to be honoring Beltane with fire and water out on the rocks, doing integration work both on the microcosm and the macrocosm. And so I hope you'll come out and join us. And this blue line, again, representing a space in the cosmos, in the constellations, called the Golden Gate Ecliptic. Let me show you. It's you can see it on this one. So this space between Hyades and Pleiades, in my upcoming video, I'll show you as a close-up of this. But this space, all the planets cross through here, and it's called the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic. And so that blue line, this blue line creates a gap, and that gap is the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic. And Falmouth is right on the river, right along that line. Where is that slide? There it is. That's Falmouth right there. It's not labeled. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. This is just short, trying to get it out before next Wednesday so that you can begin yourself discerning and feeling into the cosmic constellatory associations that this area of the river has with the sky, with the Golden Gate of the Ecliptic, and specifically Falmouth, and its history and the origins of this very important name that is related to these rivers. All right, thank you. And if you haven't, go check out the other videos that kind of fold forward into this, and check out Susquehanna Alchemy's Susquehanna Mystery Stories to get an even fuller, fleshed out background on all of these mysteries and beautiful stories to show us just how supported and held we are and loved by the water. Bye.